JoshCast, dun 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 dun. Oh, he didn't do one last week, so there's a problem. Da, 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 da. With the consistency of content, dun 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 dun. Da. Might cause a problem with listenership numbers. Da, da, da. Oh, unfortunately, we're probably still at 0. Da, 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 da. Oh, JoshCast, da, 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 da. JoshCast, da, da, da. Okay. I started with an That's what you're not supposed to do, according to somebody who was explaining to me a little bit about Toastmasters. Yeah, I did it again. I it again. There's another one. All right. I am not. This is going to be an free podcast. That is the goal. This is an free podcast, unless I am saying in quotation marks. All right, so I was listening to a song on the radio, and the lyric of the song said, "Let's get a little Genghis Khan." A little Genghis Khan. So we're not going to conquer the entire world, just one or two choice territories, and perhaps destroy some of the population. But not a lot, just a little Genghis Khan, just a bit, just a smidgen. Just a canoodle. I do not believe canoodle is the right word, but that was the word that came to me, and that is the word that I said. Also listening to another song in which there are Trojans in a man's head. Now, I could have sworn that if he's referencing the story of the Trojan horse, then technically there should be Greeks in his head in the process of conquering him. I did not pay... There's another one. I it again. The message of my communication cannot be clear if there is an in what I am saying. Trojans in somebody's head. Are the Trojans sneaking in to try to take over his head? Or is he talking about Trojan condoms in his head, which might have been accidentally put there if a surgeon was trying to do brain surgery and left the condom in his head, in which case he should definitely sue, and in which case it's a miracle he's still alive, as far as I'm concerned. I don't think I understand what these songs mean, nor have I been listening to them clearly enough to make a point here. I'm struggling. I did it again, and that one of those to be fair, was that one was bad. There was an in there that was me clearing my throat. Just to be clear, that was what that was. The other I have to apologize for those. But that particular was me clearing my throat. Bit mucusy this morning. I don't know why I'm sharing that with you. And when I say you, I don't know who you is. It might be nobody. It might be Mom. In which case, Mom, I am trying not to say so that I sound more clear, so that my communication is perfection. I must have a perfection of communication in order to succeed as a leader. I don't know what I'm talking about now. Where was I? I was talking about the music, right? And no, right, what I'm struggling with. So I want to submit a tape of my stand-up to the college market. And I'm trying to figure out a really strong 5-minute college set. And I want to stop talking about the fact that I lost my virginity when I was 32. But the problem is, because I lost my virginity when I was 32, and I'm that kind of person, I have nothing else to talk about. Not really. Not much else has gone on in my life. I was in a rainforest when I was 4 in Kauai, and I hated it. I was thirsty. I was thirsty in a rainforest, which is why I shouldn't go into nature, frankly. I did it again. With the I don't remember it being that beautiful. I know it was beautiful. It had to be beautiful because it's the Kauaian rainforest. It is a thing of beauty. Millions of people have been through there, I think. Probably millions. They've seen it. They've acknowledged that it was beautiful. I just remember it being not as cool as the hotel with the pool. That was my thought. Why are we standing here in this forest when we were at a nice hotel with a pool. And it was a cool pool, too, because there was a bar that was literally right on the pool, like in the pool. So I could swim up while still in the pool and eat a hot dog. That was amazing to me. That blew my mind. That right there, I could have spent the entire Kauaian vacation at that hotel pool as a 4-year-old, perhaps as a 34-year-old as well. And yet, here I am in a rainforest looking around going, well, the trees are nice. Those are nice trees, but I'm thirsty. Thirsty in a rainforest. Thirsty in a rainforest. That is why I do not go into nature where possible. I prefer... I did it again with the us. Sorry. I'd like to apologize to the Toastmasters for using in a sentence. Now what's happening is instead of me saying I'm taking ridiculous pauses in the middle of what I am saying because I have no idea what I'm saying. This is totally unscripted. I don't think I need to say that this is unscripted. If there was somebody listening to this who thought that this was scripted, then you need, I'm not sure what you need, drugs of some kind, therapy perhaps, I don't know. I don't know is becoming my new That's what I've noticed in this. Instead of saying I say I don't know. So I want to throw out, I cannot say, here's the rule, no no I don't know. That's the rule there. I want to come up with a 5-minute college set in which I'm not talking about being a 32-year-old virgin. Perhaps what I'm doing is singing theme songs to science fiction films. So I'm merely inferring that I'm a 32-year-old virgin. That's the plan with this college set. We want to hint at it. We don't want to come out and say it. I'd also like to do, but this college set, this has been on my mind. And my question is this on my mind because there's something more frightening that's on my mind, and I'm just using this to be on my mind, so I'm not dealing with what really needs to be on my mind, which probably has something to do with human connection. That would be my guess. I did it again with the Oz. I'm sorry. There is a woman who I am attracted to who just got out of a relationship, which is great. So this means I can continue to do nothing about the situation and just kind of hope that it happens by itself. And I know, this is not how the world works, and I'm locked in my own neuroses about it. I'm aware of that, but it's comfortable here. It's lonely and depressing, but it is comfortable here. Comfortable. I did it again. She's a comedian. Yes, she's a comedian. I'm not going to say who, but she is a comedian. And I have this rule that I've created where I don't want to date comedians because I'm not going to be able to handle it if the comedian is more successful than I am. I am an immature child. I want to be the successful one in the relationship, which is why I have not had many. I've not had any, frankly. Yes. Why is it that I have to be the successful one in the relationship? I don't know where that comes from. It's this primitive, well, because I'm the man, I need to be the breadwinner of the house. I need to be the breadwinner. I'm not sure. Who wins bread? It's not something you win. It's something you mill, isn't it? I mean, what's the deal with the term breadwinner? Am I right, ladies? I want to be... At least I want to be able to prove to myself that I can survive on my own, which I'm barely doing now. But it's important to me that I can take care of a family. Which, again, why does that have to be a big deal? Why can't the woman in the relationship be the breadwinner, and I can be at home with the kids, transferring, I did it again with another, I can be at home with the kids, transferring my neuroses onto another generation of neuroses off into the world. But when I say neuroses, what do I mean by that? It is a general term. It's becoming a cliche term in my own dialogue. Neuroses. What are we talking about when it comes to neuroses? I think what we're talking about is the tendency on my part to second guess every single thing that I say and do. That's what it is. I love the fact that I do that. I think it's important to do that. There are politicians out there who are not doing that right now. They do not second guess. Part of me is jealous that they don't second guess. Part of me is jealous that some of these guys just go up there, say whatever they want, without thinking about it, without that part of their brain going, wait a minute, can we, wait, hold on, wait, what? What did you say? Wait, what, excuse me? Part of me wishes I could be that way. I used to be. When I was really, really young, I had no filter. And then I was taught I should have a filter, and rightly so. A lot of people should have a filter. When there's no filter, there's not no problems. That's the catchphrase I was trying to come up with in the moment. I don't feel that I was successful in coming up with that catchphrase in the moment right there. It was a double negative. We have to move forward. I tried reading Ulysses by James Joyce. I read the first 2 pages and I stopped, and I don't think the book is in my possession anymore. I said to myself, I don't want to do this. It's so important to me that I prove to myself and to everyone else that I'm smart, because I feel like that's all I have. I don't have muscle. I remember in the elementary school field day, we were doing the 100-yard dash, and I was running as hard as I possibly could, and people who were half my size, were running faster than I was. I was telling my legs, run. And they were saying, we are running. And I was saying, you're not running fast enough. And they were saying, you have reached the capacity of what we can do. We can't do any more than this. I'm sorry. We're trying to run. We're running as fast as we can run. This is the best, this is what we have to offer you. And I'm saying to my legs, but we're being beaten by somebody who is half our size. What does this say about our strength and our masculinity? And my legs were saying, you should hit the books. That's what that's saying. You need to hit the books. You need to rely on your sense of wit. That's what's going to be what saves you, your sense of wit. Sitting in the car right now, somebody is trying to park near me, which is always scary because I'm afraid they're going to see me recording this podcast and they're going to judge me as someone who has emotional problems. And she's driving away. Thank God. Thank God she is driving away. Unless she lives nearby and she's about to come back. She had a huge dog with her. A very big dog. It looked like a half golden retriever, half dragon from the Game of Thrones show that I don't watch. That everyone else is watching that I'm not watching. That's brilliant. Everyone else is watching it and I'm not watching it. That's the kind of shit. In the 80s, by the way, if people were watching that, nerds. People watching that now, oh, this is in fashion. And I was talking about this with someone else recently, too, that it almost feels to me, dare I say it, America, dare I say it, that what was nerdy is now normal, and what was normal is now nerdy. Put that in your pipe and smoke it. I'm sorry, let me be more clear. Let me be more 2016. Put that in your vape and vape it in my face. To passive-aggressively tell me that, yes, it is okay for me to vape in your face because it is not a cigarette. So I'm going to vape all over the place. I'm going to vape to my heart's content. I do get that feeling sometimes. People vape in my face, and it just feels like a blatant, well, I could be smoking right now, but I'm not because of you people. I'm probably just projecting that. I don't know for sure. I don't know for sure is my new I'm better on the ums. You gotta give me that. I have all but eliminated the ums in this conversation, although for some reason I'm being theatrical. So now, my theatricality is my new In this theatricality, is this who I really am? Is this who I am underneath all this? Why am I speaking like I'm a bad actor in Game of Thrones? Why? What am I trying to say? Working on a college set. I'm working on a college set and I'm struggling because I don't know what to say about myself beyond the fact that I lost my virginity when I was 32. But yet there must be something more to me than that. There must be something more to me as a human being than the fact that I have not had relations with more than one person. What is more? What is underneath the virginity? Why am I speaking in a stilted, Shatnerian sort of way? I think what's underneath is that I'm terrified of everything. I just don't like getting into a situation where I suspect and I'm talking about a situation with a relationship, I don't like getting into a situation where I suspect that only bad things will happen. But the problem is that I get that feeling with every relationship, or every potential relationship. I just get that feeling. I don't know how to reconcile that. I guess the only solution is that all relationships in my life will end badly. I mean, either the relationship will end and I'll go on and die, or the relationship will not end and I will die. So one way or another, maybe it doesn't even matter. Maybe, bad relationships are necessary. Maybe maybe that's all there is. All there is are bad relationships. What do I mean by bad relationship? I did it again. Again. What do I mean by bad relationship? I mean any relationship where I'm yelled at. That's what I want to avoid. Any relationship where I'm yelled at. And I feel like, and here's the problem with that, is that I don't want to be yelled at in a relationship, but I'm the kind of guy who needs to be yelled at in order to improve myself. That's the problem right there. I need to be yelled at. I need to be yelled at right now. I am doing a podcast in a Honda. Somebody needs to be yelling at me into a phone. I should have professional podcasting equipment. This is not the way to produce a podcast. I know there are subreddits about how to produce a podcast. If this was reported to on one of those subreddits, there would be subreddits complaining about the subreddit about the fact that I am trying to do a podcast on an iPhone 6s in the middle of nowhere. I'm shaking my head now. That is my new I don't think that I want a relationship right now. I don't want to be in a relationship until I'm rich. I think that's what it comes down to. I don't want to be in a relationship until I'm rich. I just want to be able to afford all of the catastrophes that tend to come with a relationship. Divorce, children, sexually transmitted diseases. Those are all of I want to be able to afford that. It's very difficult to have a divorce and a child and an STD on a budget in this day and age. And that's what happens when we don't have a middle class anymore. That is what happens. Oh, for the 50s. I don't know if no, this is the problem with that. Here's the problem with the 50s, with saying the 50s were better. Rampant racism. I mean, I know things are not great now, but horrible then. And I also think we lacked the medical technology. So were people dying younger? Although I get the feeling people are dying younger now. That's the vibe I'm getting. I'm not sure. I'm not sure is the new I don't know, which is the new which we have to stop. It's been 18 minutes. I've spent my life doing this, 18 minutes. I had an entire... that's a lie. I didn't have any plan coming into this when I was recording this. No plan whatsoever. I'm not sure how this is going to contribute to the World Wide Web when I put it out there. I have no idea. How is this helping anything? Now I'm beating myself up. I shouldn't beat myself up. I need to have a positive attitude about myself. I need to be able to tell myself that I can do anything. I can do anything if I put my mind to it, but not my legs because they have limits. Dun, 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 dun. This is the end of the podcast. The end of the podcast. And the children sing and the sun goes down. This is the end of the podcast.